Greetings to everyone and welcome to the new video. In this video, we have a BMW G30 vehicle with a standard problem on the headlights, which is cracked plastic. That is, a factory protection that looks very ugly and greatly reduces visibility when driving. As you can see, it has a lot of damage from stones, oxidation, heat burns, and as a rule, such a headlight is for replacement. But we will train it to be as before. If you look carefully, you can do the same with your headlights, no matter what car you drive. The plastic of the headlights is the same on all vehicles in 90% of cases. I will show you the most important step, which is the beginning of sanding and removing the damage, which paper to start with, at what speed to work and how to know when sanding is enough, and when to stop and move on to the next granulation, so that in the end the result would be like this headlight. Impressive, isn't it? You can achieve the same, but don't skip the order and you won't have any problems. For this kind of result, you need 3 hours of work. It will seem a lot to some, but believe me, if you know how to charge for this work, it will be worth it. We all know that BMW headlights are one of the toughest and that they take time to get right. As I said before, the first step is the most important, and that is removing the damage from the plastic. For the first step, I use 3M Cubitron papers of 180 grit, then 240 and 320. These papers are quite aggressive. They leave damage better known as pig's tails, but don't worry about them. They will be easy to fix later with Kovacs sandpapers. And what is most important is the headlight, as before we finish the set using the dry sanding method without using water. Of course, there is also the Mirka electric sander with a displacement of 5 mm, which I have been working with for 2 years without any problems. The paper pad is soft, which is damaged, but it still works, and I use it from the company Kovacs. Many of you do not know at what speed to start sanding. My recommendation when it comes to hard headlights, as in this case, I always start with 1 speed above the minimum and try to finish all the paper granulations that come to me that way. We start with 180 grit paper. Many people think it's a lot, but believe me, it's not, because the plastic is very hard and inconvenient to work with. The main rule for the first step and removing the damage as well as the factory protection is that you have to tilt the sander to the side at an angle of 35 up to 45 degrees, and that's the only way you can remove damage and protection very quickly. Now you see how the damage disappears with ease. Work on smaller parts until you get this result. When you have removed the protection, it looks like this, and you move on and continue removing the first layer. As you can see by the pair, we only peel off the protection with the edge of the paper. That's the only way you can remove 100% of the damage. When we removed all the protection, it looks like this ugly, rough, and many would think that there is nothing to this headlight, but this is just the beginning. Now with the same 180 grit paper at the same speed of the sander, but this time with the entire surface of the paper, we take the entire headlight without pressing to remove as many sanding marks as possible at an angle of 35 or 45%. Now we switch to 240 and 320 grit papers, and we do the same as with 180 grit paper, without pressure, over the entire surface, the same speed, only that we work a little longer than with 180 because each subsequent grit is done longer than the previous one in order to align the remains of the previous one paper. When we have finished that, now comes the best part of sanding, because we use Kovacs sandpapers for dry sanding, 400, 600, 800, 1200, 1500 and 2000 grits, and of course I won't show you how they work, but look at the finish that 400 grit paper gives you and you'll be fine. Clearly what kind of papers it is. This is 800 grit yellow pepper. and look at the clarity you get when you finish working with it. Here we are already on the final paper, which is 2000, and we are ready for polishing. I use cut compound in combination with wool on the rotary machine for the first polishing step. Then on the dual machine I use a medium sponge with a medium compound, and finally the final paste, in combination with a soft sponger. Of course, I degrease each step and check that there is nothing left. Then I protect everything with a ceramic coating for plastic or PPF foil in agreement with the customer. And if you followed all the steps as in the video, at the end you will get this result. Of course you will see the result with the lights on. I think there is nothing easier than this job when it comes to headlights. And if you are interested in anything else, feel free to write in the comments and I will answer you with pleasure, because I see that I have helped many of you, and it is my honor that my channel is different from many channels you have watched. At least that's what you say in the comments. See you soon in the next video, where I will show you how to sand the orange peel on my new car, which is completely painted and very badly, and I will try to smooth it out so that it looks decent. Many precise tips, and it's up to you to follow the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and enjoy with me. Big greetings to everyone, and see you soon.